Good morning, and thank you for joining us on After GMS. Today is Thursday, February 10th. I'm Tracy McCain here with Marissa Tansino, who looks like the sun. And the guys who forecast that sun, which would be meteorologist Ed Matthews and Christian Morgan. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. We all kind of have a spring theme.
Yes.
That was the plan, honestly.
We woke up and, well, yeah, you're right, it was planned. Yesterday, we're like, let's think Easter.
I feel like we were blindsided because Tracy said she was wearing one color.
I did.
And I'm not going to say what color, but then did not wear that color.
Yeah.
But she's still very bright and beautiful and spring-like.
Thank you.
It's okay.
Although I will say, yesterday I gave you a heads up.
Yeah. She was like, I don't know I'm non-committal. I don't know if I can go through with this. And we said, that's okay. And she walked in, she threw a few ideas around. She walked in today and I said, okay, that wasn't mentioned.
That's not that color, but it works.
But we love it. And she looks beautiful.
It's either blue or green, but green I couldn't wear because we're doing a test. And in case we have to go in the the green screen, which is what our meteorologist forecasts, you can't wear green.
Yeah.
So that was out. And then I just woke up and I was like, oh, pink is pretty.
Yeah. Pink,
okay,
yellow.
Anyway.
Yes.
Let's talk about the forecast. Yeah. Instead of my wardrobe.
Talk
All right, Ed Matthews, the forecast.
Is it me or is it? I think it's me. I think it's me. All right, I'm going to do this one. Ed can do the next one. Sunshine this morning as you take a live look over downtown Greensboro. Beautiful morning. Still on the cold side of things, though. 32 right now in Greensboro. And hello, Burlington. It's been a long time since we saw you. Glad to have our camera back up and working there in downtown Burlington. Beautiful look over the sky there, and you can see those flags blowing in the breeze a little bit, so already gives you a little hint that things are breezy this morning and will be as we go throughout the afternoon. 29 right now in Burlington. Elsewhere, upper 20s and low 30s across the board as you start out today. Here's the plan. Plenty of sunshine today. I do encourage anything outdoors. Maybe hit the links this afternoon. I might do that myself. You can slide out. I don't know what you're going to tell the bosses, but you can worry about that later. It's a nice day to get outside. Do it. Take advantage of it. We have a couple more nice days ahead, too. Winds aren't going to be crazy, but they will be gusting around 20, maybe 25 miles per hour at times as we go throughout the afternoon. So it's a warm wind, though. We don't mind it as much when it's warm as opposed to when it's really cold outside. Tonight, clear skies will drop back to around the freezing mark again for most of us in the Piedmont. Pretty much the same story in the western counties and foothills. Better shot at getting some upper 20s there as well. Take a look at the next few days because the warm up does continue into the mid 60s for tomorrow and for Saturday as well. Of course, all good things must come to an end in the weather department. We know we go through all these changes, especially this time of the year. The cold air will be back with us again as we go into the second half of the weekend and into next week. High pressure in control of our weather now. That'll keep us high and dry. Keeps us having a southwesterly wind too, and that really is why we're warming things up and not only getting warmer, but also adding a little extra humidity into the atmosphere as well over the next few days. So we continue on the path of nice weather, and then we're going to be watching a cold front that's likely to slide by as we go into Saturday night and into Sunday. And yes, it will bring the cold air, but it could also bring a little bit of moisture with it as well. And that's where our questions have been lying in regards to Sunday. To me, right now, I think it looks very possible we could have some rain showers, maybe some snow showers as well. I wouldn't expect this to be a big event, more of just a novelty thing to see right now the way I see it. But still, we are several days away, so we're fine-tuning the details on that. No guarantees at the moment, but it is something that we're watching. So circle Sunday in your mind and on the calendar. Is kind of the day to watch over the next 7. Regardless of that setup, the cold air will be with us. Afternoon highs in the low 40s on Sunday, low 40s again on Monday for Valentine's Day, and then we have sunshine and we gradually warm back up again into the 50s by the middle of next week.
All right, let's get into our first conversation this morning. CVS wants to give its employees a break, especially during COVID. Later this month, all CVS pharmacies will close for a dedicated lunch break.
Good to know if you have those plans to head out during your lunch break to pick up prescriptions. We want to know, do you take a dedicated lunch break each day or just eat on the go whenever you can? The break will happen at CVS pharmacies from 1:30 p.m. until 2 p.m. Some pharmacies already offer lunch breaks because they're mandated by state law, but this new rule will help out workers in areas where there are no lunch break mandates.
So we did hear from a viewer who said, my doctor closes every day from 12 to 2 and my dermatologist from 12 to 1. They do work a little later, but that midday break helps to recharge. Another person wrote in and said, I take a 1-hour lunch every day. My employer requires it. And another comment here, everyone needs a break for lunch, especially in customer service. Miranda added, working from home now, I have to make an effort to remember to walk away from my desk and take a lunch. It's easy to get busy and forget. And another comment here, the last one for the morning, I think it's important for your mental health to take a lunch break.
Yeah, I mean, we can relate, and in this industry, when your work, and work in all industries is important, but when it happens, unexpectedly, because that is news, there are a lot of, I'm looking forward to getting to the comments because a lot of people bring up good points, but for us, we're on the go all the time. So we have to bring that lunch. Sometimes we're eating when we're driving, which is not ideal. Sometimes I have a sandwich in my hand and I'm typing with the other hand, trying to write scripts or edit video or whatever the case may be. So it's not always possible to take time to just drop what you're doing and go and take that break that you need.
Yeah, absolutely. But there was one person who wrote in and said, about her doctor's office taking 2 hours or closing the office for 2 hours, and we see dentist offices, a lot of offices in the healthcare industry do that to give their workers and their physicians a break. I mean, you don't see that at hospitals, but you do see that at courtrooms where judges will close things down for an hour and say, hey, look, we're going on lunch and we'll pick this up in the afternoon. And those are the industries that you're like, man, I should have gotten into those, right? Because they have a dedicated moment of time where they can step away and rethink, recharge, or just run an errand. I will say here, I don't necessarily have an opportunity to take a dedicated lunch break, but I do like the flexibility that this job provides. As being a mom who is also working, I'm able to come in a little bit later, maybe leave a little earlier, so that I have more time with my family. And so I don't need a break because I know that I'm going to get it
eventually.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there.
And it's going to be for the benefit of my family.
Which is great.
Yeah. All right. So Christian, you mentioned that sometimes you forget to eat.
It's not that I forget to eat, it's that I get so busy and then realize later, oh yeah, I didn't eat.
Got it.
And especially, on a busy weather day, I can tell you firsthand, and Ed can attest to this too, if we get into a busy weather situation, especially severe weather, when you get into spring and into the fall, a lot of times if it gets busy, you don't have time. You don't really have time to eat. You can't leave. You're always keeping an eye on the radar, especially on a busy weather day. And I was kind of joking about it earlier, but there have been several occurrences where we've had a busy weather day, and you're in here, you're on air, in the middle of something for several hours, and honestly, the only thing you've had to eat all day is the soda and the Little Debbie snack that my producer runs into the studio, and that's so much appreciated. But then you get home later, and I don't know what it is about a busy weather day. I get home and I'm like, I just want to pig out on some pizza or something after a busy weather day like that. But I'll tell you, I used to do the evening show and work on night side here at the station. And when you get done with the early shows, there's a nice long big break usually if things are quiet where you can run out and grab dinner, maybe run some errands. But now I feel like in the morning, we have so much going on, there's a lot going on, and I don't ever really take a lunch break or a breakfast break or what I guess it would be. I just kind of find myself maybe running out to grab a coffee or maybe running to the bank to run an errand here or there. But just kind of getting away from the setting for a little bit, just to kind of recharge and refresh your mind is always a good thing.
Yeah. And during those busy weather days, we know how hard you guys, Christian, Ed, Tim, Eric, Monique are working. That Ed, sometimes it's hard.
Yeah, it really is hard. But let me say one thing about Christian.
Oh boy.
He is a busybody. There can be a day when the weather is dead quiet and beautiful and sunny, and he is in here working. He's doing graphics or doing something to make our product better. And it's like, Christian, please take a break, okay? I'm taking a break watching him do work on a sunny day. But our schedules are weird for you younger people who are, getting ready to head to college and you're thinking about maybe a career in broadcasting or journalism or meteorology and you want to be on TV. It's not a 9-to-5 job. Never, ever, ever. My day is over at 12:30 after the noon show, so I get off work in the middle of the lunch hour. So I don't take a lunch hour per se, although I do take a little break about 9:30 in the morning, and I run home. I only live downtown about 2 or 3 miles away, and that gives me an opportunity to quickly walk my dog and grab a bite, feed my dog, and then come back to work. But as Kristen mentioned, if it's a very active weather day, no breaks at all. It's not going to happen, and we totally understand that. We get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, this is our industry, but we were interested to hear what all of you had to say as well. So we do have a few comments here. One great point and perspective from Meredith Hyatt that she was saying, and it's a longer comment that for some reason I can't pull up the whole thing. But
do you have it?
Yeah,
I have the whole one.
Okay.
The whole, and this was the one that caught my attention. Meredith said, I think people are missing the point and don't realize the requirements for pharmacies. Pharmacists in the retail world definitely do not get lunch breaks, as most times there's only one pharmacist working at any given time, and a pharmacist is required by law to be on duty at all times when the pharmacy is open. The technicians do get breaks, but not the pharmacists, increasing the potential for medication errors. Attempting to compare the situation to other professions where you just work in a break during the day when possible is misguided. The point is there isn't a possible time to take breaks since there's only one pharmacist on duty and one is required by law without closing the pharmacy for a short time. So, I mean, the medication error is a great point to bring up and dangerous when you're talking about doses and especially things that aren't over the counter.
Right.
So, great point and perspective by Meredith, and it would be good to close the pharmacy for a certain amount of time to allow them to take a break.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Right. Well, apparently Walgreens has been doing this for quite some time where they've closed the store for an hour a day to give their pharmacists a break. But Walgreens, most of them are 24 hours. So I can see why they have to do that for their employees. But it is, a good idea, especially when you're dealing with, something as critical as getting the right dosage.
Yes.
It's like, saving someone's life, someone's life is on the line.
Right.
You do want to have someone take a break. So it's interesting that not everybody does take a break. Gerald Hicks says, if it's busy at the 911 center, you eat when you can. If at all emergencies take priority, no set lunchtime. Serena said we have a 15-minute break and a 45-minute lunch. And yes, sometimes it's still not enough, but she said we work and pass the time and then a late break and still don't have enough time to get your food and enjoy it. So do we really have a break, she wants to know? Rhonda said, I take a 30-minute lunch break required by the employer, but occasionally work through it if she's really busy. Crystal said she's always been the type of person who eats on the go. Dana said her assistant has blocked off her calendar from 12 to 2 every day so she can take a dedicated lunch break, which is also really nice. And Cherie says, it depends on my workload, how my lunch goes. Sometimes I just sit in the sun.
Sometimes that's just nice too.
Yeah.
Just a chance to breathe and kind of go away from the setting and recharge for just a minute. Anything to kind of just like reset your focus, reset your eyes. Especially if you look at a computer all day. Ed and I are looking at computers all day. Our job is on the computer, and just to step away. And especially when we're looking at complicated weather maps, there's so many lines and so many things. You look at it for so long, you're like, I don't even know what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
Right. So just walk away. And honestly, it's good for you to just rest your eyes for a little bit. And not to be staring at those screens constantly.
There have been times I've been sitting at my desk and had to back up because my face was so close to the computer screen, and I started to get dizzy and couldn't see, and it was not. Yeah. I think dealing with computer screens has
Staring at them.
it ruined my eyes a little bit. So if you can afford to get up and walk away for even 10 minutes. I know that we have several people on here who are essential workers. Gerald is a 911 operator, it sounds like. So thank you for your service, and that important service that you do. But if you can walk away for a few minutes, just clear your head or eyeballs.
And
do so.
A place like this where there's absolutely no windows. I mean, maybe one in one office somewhere in a corner of a building that I've never had access to. There is a window. So it is nice to get outside and actually see what's happening, which is why I love the weather garden.
Yep.
They have a little fountain and a place to sit.
Soothing.
And look, Ed and Ed and Christian are getting jealous. They're like, don't come in our weather.
Stay out.
If you can't find me, check the weather garden.
Yeah. Or the wood shop.
Or the wood shop. On a nice sunny day, I'll take a little break out there and kind of soak up some rays of the sun in warm weather.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't let you out of the wood shop on those weekend days, though. And I'm like, where's Ed? And he's just hanging out in the wood shop.
He's
so
hiding.
Check in, which
I
understand.
We have nice little couple little patio chairs out there in the weather garden, and I have before just taken my laptop outside, and done our meeting outside or done some work outside and just sat in one, propped my feet up in the other, and got some work done if it's nice outside.
Yeah,
definitely.
Good stuff.
All right, guys, thanks so much for weighing in on this conversation. So many great responses and some perspective that, we didn't even think about. So we appreciate that. And that's why we have these conversations on After GMS. All right, we're going to get to another conversation in just a little bit. But right now, let's turn to your morning headlines. A road in Winston-Salem is closed temporarily after a tree fell. Officers say it fell on top of a passing car and knocked down power lanes on West Academy Street. Thankfully, no one was hurt. There are about 10 outages, or at least at 5 a.m. when we checked, there are 10 outages. We'll check on those again and keep you updated. And they're working right now to remove the tree and clean up debris. People in Greensboro will soon have another place to shop for groceries. A 3-story Publix grocery store is coming to the corner of Westover Terrace and Mill Street. The new development will bring 150 jobs. The Publix will join 5 other major grocery stores on the south side of Battleground Avenue. And the opening date is set for fall 2024.
Vaccine maker Pfizer says it will have an Omicron-specific vaccine ready by next month. But as we see cases decline rapidly, the company says we would see the real benefit if another variant emerges. Pfizer expects to have the capability to make a tailor-made vaccine against new variants within 100 days, subject to approval. And making sure people are vaccinated and boosted is a crucial part of stopping the spread of COVID-19. Bank of America and Second Harvest Food Bank have teamed up to provide the shots and also raise money for those in need. WFMY News 2's Denise McMiller shares how vaccine incentives raised money for the food bank.
Well, the cash incentive of $100 turned into $75,000 with the help of Bank of America employees. And that money will turn to food for families right here in the Triad dealing with hunger and food insecurity. The check you see in this video was made possible by nearly 750 Bank of America employees motivated to get their booster shots. Each shot meant a $100 donation to the food bank.
So it is important to get all of our folks vaccinated. Every day you're less at risk of more complications associated with COVID.
The bank's vaccination efforts will support the Second Harvest mission to feed the community.
It really helps us to support our wonderful network of over 500 partner agency programs that are helping people in the Triad bring food to individuals every single day. Gifts like this help us be more creative and more impactful.
But are citywide vaccine efforts impactful? Both Greensboro and Winston-Salem are offering incentives for city workers. So we dug into the numbers. Look at what we found. The city of Greensboro has been able to get 2,100 employees fully vaccinated since they began offering 8 hours of paid time off back in August. And Winston-Salem began offering cash ranging from $100 up to $1,000 in exchange for vaccinations back in October. And as of today, nearly 1,950 employees have taken part in the program and are now fully vaccinated. And both cities tell me right now they are not adding any additional incentives, but they are not against looking at those options in the future.
All right, it is a cold February morning, but by the afternoon, it'll feel like spring. We're going to ditch the heavy coats for maybe some shorts, said Marissa earlier. I won't do a short sleeve type thing, but maybe a light jacket.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
I guess it just depends on how temperate you are, but you get the feeling, cold mornings, warm afternoons.
There you go, and that's what we're talking about today. Which do you prefer, cold morning or a warm afternoon, or maybe the other way around? in some cases. I don't know if anyone
Go for
would
it.
prefer
Just
that.
keep going.
Either way, it's going to be nice today. Our meteorologist Christian Morgan tweeted, "I encourage anything outside today. If I were you, I'd find a way to the links with a winky face. All sunshine and low 60s this afternoon. You can blame the breeze for any bad shots." Of course, Christian. Does that include yours?
Yeah.
So back to our question, which do you prefer, a cold morning or a warm afternoon?
Well, I will start off because I'm going to choose what you think I'm going to choose, the
Yeah.
warm afternoon. It just gives us an opportunity to go outside, go for a walk, play a little basketball, do something around the house in temperatures that are comfortable instead of really cold. So I'll choose a warm afternoon any day.
And that's the key, I think, comfortable, because you know, we can experience some hot days down in North Carolina that I don't specifically care for. I don't like when we get into like July and it's like 95 degrees with like 180% chance of humidity.
Right.
And I am sweating and it's just not a good look for me.
Yeah. Or anyone.
Or anyone, for that matter. So I think that I prefer, I do like the cold mornings like today, but the problem when you get into that certain time of year, and Christian and Ed, maybe you can speak to when exactly this is, when it's freezing in the mornings and you dress for that, and then but you have to dress in layers because by the time it gets to like, I don't know, noon, it's like 70 or 80, and then you just have a completely different season on your hands. It feels like
3 different outfits to go throughout the day.
Yes.
You know, and if you go somewhere in that time of the year, you go somewhere, you're sweating in the afternoon, and then when you leave, you're freezing, right? So you guys think that I just love to like be frigid cold all the time, and that's not the case. I do love cold weather, but this is why I really like, I don't like spring so much because my allergies are so bad, but I really love fall because you have a very, you know, crisp, refreshing morning and then a comfortable afternoon. You know, I can wear jeans and a nice shirt and I don't have to, you know, cover it up in layers or worry about being hot or worry about being cold. So I really like that time of the year, you know, when you're kind of getting into fall. October can have some warm days, you know, we've seen that over the last few years, but typically once you get to the, you know, middle end of October, beginning of November, you have some of those refreshing mornings and then coolish afternoons. So that's what I would prefer. But I always prefer a cooler start or a refreshing start versus, you know, in the middle of July or early August when you walk outside. Even in, you know, even coming to work here at 3 in the morning, sometimes you can walk outside in July and August and the heat, the warmth and the humidity just kind of, you know, they just wash over you. It's just like soup. And I can't, no. Not about that.
In the summer, I don't even bother doing my hair.
No, same.
No.
So when you see me looking like a troll doll on TV, don't ask any questions.
And you know, we actually you tell our viewers on the Good Morning Show it's going to be a bad hair day, you know, because of the humidity and so on and so forth. I would prefer, I think, a warm afternoon. I don't mind it being cold in the morning, but I really would like warm in the morning, warm in the afternoon, warm overnight, warm the entire month. 365 days of the year, warm weather.
And do you have like a bunch of space heaters in your house, like just all plugged in
Yeah,
all the
what's
time?
your thermostat kept at, Ed? I'm curious.
It's like no, I don't have the space heaters or anything like that. I just I've always enjoyed warm weather, you know, for some reason. But you know, you guys were talking. Now, I don't like the humidity, I'll tell you that. But that's just a part of living in North Carolina. I have a friend that lives in Lakeland, Florida, just outside of the Tampa Bay area. And he, you know, he's a businessman, he wears a suit, so on and so forth every day. He said literally, he does like a 9-to-5 job. He'll go home at lunch and take a shower and redress and go back to work. Now that's in the middle of summer. And boy, you know, it's rough. It's rough here with the humidity, but you know, down in Florida, I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I love all the reasons that we love living here.
Yeah, yeah. It's yesterday was really nice. Yesterday, we mentioned this. I mentioned this morning that I took my dog for a walk and I just left the gym. There's the context. I was working out in shorts at the gym, and then I took my dog for a walk, threw a sweatshirt on, but kept the shorts on because it was just that nice. Because sometimes when I take him for a walk in the park, I'll put my winter coat on because it's that cold out. But once I start moving, I get hot. So it's you know, and I don't want to take it off and carry my big, you know, not fur coat, but like puffy jacket.
I was gonna say, what are you wearing to the park?
I wear like my big long like puffy
Dazzle
jacket
at the park.
sometimes with the hood, and sometimes
A
I,
mink stole.
Seriously. All right, let's get to
I'm
some
cold.
of your comments here. Tamrika says she loves it warm, just like Ed Matthews, Tamrika. She says a lot of work with keeping fire on cold days and nights, a lot of work with wood and all. So I think that's why she likes the warmer afternoons, because it's less work. And yes, I understand that. Let's see, we just got a comment. I mentioned North Carolina humidity is nothing to mess with, because I really do feel that way. It is just unmatched, except for apparently Florida.
Florida's horrible.
Diane Hudson said, I like spring and summer better. We also heard from Ty, who said, warm afternoon, cold mornings make me want to stay in bed later. That's true, especially when you get bundled up nice and cozy. Jessica Richards said, I love all warm weather. Having to take the kids out in the cold at 6:30 in the morning is never fun. Yep, I agree. Cherie says she likes both cool for sleeping and warmth for pleasure. Okay. Joanne said she will be able to go out. She is glad to be able to go out without a heavy coat, and she's going to go walk her puppy, Sally Ann, today.
Oh, Sally Ann.
That's a great name.
Yeah, I love it.
Preston also added warm mornings and warm afternoons. So warm all the time for Preston. So far, Team Warm is winning. Warm
I'm not
afternoons.
surprised. I'm not surprised. It gets cold up in New England up there, so nobody on the chat would like it up there. But I understand that.
By the way, is your family still digging out of snow?
No, so they actually had a few warmer days. So a lot of it melted. They got some rain too.
Okay.
So a lot of it did melt, but
It was like 18 inches.
oh yeah, they were buried.
Of snow,
They
yeah.
were buried.
That's amazing.
And they sent me some pictures that I posted on social. But they're doing okay. I'm sure they'll get another one soon. That'll bury them again.
I'll tell you, the sun really does wonders too. You know, even on a day like where it's kind of chilly, if you're out in the sun, it's a whole lot more comfortable than, you know, if you're in the shade and the wind's kind of blowing. And the same kind of thing with our snow too, as you guys have noticed. Even if we have a day that's pretty cold, you know, just above freezing, anything that's in the direct sunlight really melts away pretty fast and dries up pretty quickly. So the sun works very magical ways. Whether it's snow on the ground or whether it's a chilly day and you're out in the middle of it, always much more comfortable to be in the sun.
Yeah, I remember that last snow fall, I guess you would say, that we had come through. I don't know if it was last weekend. It might have been last weekend. I remember driving home thinking, okay, the roads are going to be bad, and it really wasn't that bad because the sunlight, even though it was still pretty cold, melted a lot of the snow. So that was good to see.
Yeah. Okay, just a few more comments here that just coming in. Jamie Miller said, done with the cold weather already. And so did Guy, who said, warmth is for me. Kimberly said, ready for spring. We are. But, you know, today we're wearing short sleeves. Tomorrow we'll be wearing winter boots. I mean, you just never know.
Never know.
Here in North Carolina. So close us out, Ed Matthews, with another look at the forecast.
Oh, indeed we will. Let's check out that 7-day. And for the next several days, yeah, the short sleeves and yeah, maybe the shorts if you want to do that. Temperatures around 60, 61 today, low 60s tomorrow, and I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see some mid 60s coming our way on Saturday. For those of us who love this kind of weather, you better soak it up, folks. It's only going to last several days. Cold front moves through late Saturday, ushers in some colder air for Sunday and for Valentine's Day. It's going to be a bit on the chilly side. That system that moves through Saturday night, Sunday may have enough moisture to give us some rain showers or snow showers. We'll continue to track that. At this time, it doesn't look like anything significant, but we'll keep an eye on it, as we always do. And then we've got dry weather as we go through the first part of next week.
All right, we know you'll keep watching that, whatever it is.
Right.
God help us.
Exactly. He's going to be watching the Super Bowl and watching the forecast at the same time. All right, it is time for us to say goodbye here, wrap it up, and hopefully we'll see you back here on After GMS tomorrow.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Get out there and enjoy that nice weather next few days.
See you later, guys.
See ya.